freaking awesome loan officer? Leo Goretti. I've had the benefit of knowing this guy for a few years now, and it's been an amazing ride. I could tell you stories that we went through from the day that he joined up with us and they shut his office down and locked it up. Well, that was until they figured out they had to pay the rent. Then all of a sudden they gave it back to us very quickly. A lot of people tease him about being the most interesting man in the world. I absolutely adore this man. He speaks a number of different languages. There is nobody out there that is better for their clients, especially in the Flagler Beach, Palm Coast area, than Leo Goretti. This guy cares more about his community than anybody in the area. I am blessed to have him. I am blessed to know him. And I'm blessed to call him friend. Luckily, I get to spend 3 or 4 times a year with him down in Florida. Leo, I appreciate you coming with us today and doing this interview.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity. You actually not only a friend, you're a brother. So, it's been quite a journey for the last 2 years. And I can say from the heart, that was the best thing, even though I just had come back from Brazil, from Rio, on a vacation with my son. And I had to meet with you in Tennessee, with Greg as well. And, I was very sick after 8 hours flying back from Brazil, but it was the best thing ever that we did. I really appreciate it. I can consider that a landmark. How do you say it? It was just the right thing to do.
Like a defining moment.
Defining moment in our lives, in our business, because we found in you and now in Hancock Mortgage exactly what we were looking for.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to death. It kind of makes me think of that trip. Not only were you sick, but one of the things that I laugh about and I tell people about is yourself, me, and Greg Peckman walking through the downtown streets of Johnson City, Tennessee, just looking at the looks on people's faces because we didn't blend very well in Johnson City, Tennessee.
the three amigos, in Johnson City, Tennessee. That was quite interesting. Some people probably thought that, like Greg always say, we were in a witness protection program hiding from somebody.
Very much so. Very much so. All right, let's get this interview kicked off. I've got some questions that I need to ask you. It's part of this interview process. This was put together by some of your coworkers, so I want you to answer them directly from the heart and just pretend like there's no cameras here, anything like that. What I want is for the people who are going to watch this, the people who may not know you like I do, to get to know you like I do.
You know me, Johnny, cameras or no cameras, I shoot from the hip. I am I think you have to be sincere and genuine in your life. That's something that, thank you to my family. They embedded that into me. That's how I was brought up. And that's what you're going to get from me today, brother.
All right. What makes you stand out from other loan officers?
Caring. Okay, it's very important. Sometimes I actually, some of my clients tells me I'm a weird person because, unfortunately, for what I have noticed, in generally speaking, obviously still a lot of good people out there. But generally speaking, I see that we became a society that values money than values more than they value people. I consider myself on that aspect, I value people more than I value money. And by taking care of my clients in all aspects, not only the mortgage, I have clients coming to my office, since I've been in Palm Coast since 2004, and I founded a soccer club for kids here. I was a banker here since 2006. I got to know a lot of people, and I got clients coming to me asking, hey, who do you recommend for plumbing? Who do you recommend for flooring? Who do you recommend for electrical? So my clients, I always say, I don't have clients, I have friends, because until today, they walk into my office, is either to just chat a little bit and have a cup of coffee, or ask, advice about something. And so caring about clients, about your people, that's what makes the difference.
I will agree with that completely, and I guarantee you, if I asked every one of your clients for the past 12, 14 years, that's exactly what they would say. They would tell you that Leo Goretti is their friend above all else.
It's very important. Not too long ago, that was in 2016. Okay, we were just made the change, came on board with Hancock. I had a clerk of court ask me, Leo, you know everybody. Everybody loves you. Why don't you run for county commissioner? And I told her, I says, well, you answer your own question. And she's like, what do you mean? I says, you just said everybody loves me, right? The moment I become a politician, they're not going to love me very much. And that's not good for business.
Somewhere between 49 and 51% of the people don't love you anymore.
Exactly. So, no, I'm not running for office. I'd rather make a difference one person at a time.
Agree. What technology do you love using that has been provided by HMP?
Oh, man, I can talk for hours here. Interaction, with your marketing team on our homes, the interaction with our MBS highway, simple nexus, the comparisons, which makes us, provide us the information we need to be an advisor. Barry Habib, our friend Barry Habib, on an MBS highway, he's been saying for very long, how we set us apart. We are advisors to our clients. We are not just a loan originator. If you're just a loan originator in this market, you're going to fall by the wayside. And Hancock Mortgage Partners provide us with information we need to be advisors to our client. And technology-wise, you guys have it all that provide that information to us.
There's no question on that. I want to say that you guys, your team, probably does better than anybody I've ever seen on the cost of waiting, on the loan comparisons. You guys take that technology, and it's my understanding that every single one of your clients gets to see that information, and they go through that when they're making the decision on what loan that they're choosing. Is that accurate?
That's pretty accurate, and that's the service that most clients are not getting out there, because yes, the housing market is being pretty steady and growing, and every time there's a good thing happening in a certain market, everybody wants to become a loan officer, right? Because the market is doing very well, and you see loan officers popping up all over the place, especially on the big firms, and they don't have the information, they don't have the support, they don't have the training necessary to provide their clients with exactly what they need to show this is the largest purchase a person is going to do in their life. You're probably going to do it 4 or 5 times in a lifetime. Okay. In my case, I've done more than that. But anyway, it's very important that you know all the information you need to make a sound financial decision. And you guys provided us with all the information we need to provide that to our clients. That's phenomenal.
Agree. So here's one that I know that's a little bit different for you guys than it is for others. What changes are you working on to increase your business, to your realtors, to increase the communication and amount of leads that are coming in for you to remain and stay dominant in your area in this next quarter?
I've actually, we now have a team meeting, on Wednesdays for the loan officers on our team. Me, Greg, and all the other LOs meet on Wednesday, and we meet also on Fridays. And obviously, any business, you should take into consideration and evolve in the business, because you maintain doing what you're doing all the time, you're going to get exactly the same results. I mean, Einstein once said, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing all the time and expect a different result. So the business, you have to allow the business to evolve, and how you can make it better. We never compare ourselves with anybody else. We compare ourselves what we were yesterday, and tomorrow we can do better than we're doing today. So there is implementations that we're going to do. Greg is always the master magician, I would say. On he does all the videos, and he gets all the programs in place for us to make it better, not only for our clients, but also for our referral partners.
Agree. And I think that's something that's important to your whole group, is your referral partners. You truly value and befriend your referral partners. Absolutely.
It's very important. I am a guy that believes in loyalty as well. In the beginning, we had, a large group of referral partners. And then once we start with the lead generation system, providing leads to those referral partners, we went through a process. We had a process and a plan in place to find out who actually, they have some loyalty to us. That's very important. And obviously within the guidelines and rules of the game, we have to maintain that. But loyalty is important, and on a business relationship, it's a game of give and take. It's not just take, and not give.
Agree 100%. I could not have said that better. What do you love? And I think I know the answer to this one. What do you love most about being a loan officer?
You put me on a cubicle pushing paperwork, you're going to put me on a straight jacket. I am a people's person. I love talking to people. I am well known for talking a lot, because I talk your ears to death. But I like the interaction with people. Been in the financial industry for a very long time, since 1995 with First Union National Bank, who ended up becoming Wachovia, which is now Wells Fargo, God forbid. But anyway, and it's important, My old man, when I was the age of 12 and I started working for him, he told me, he says, men's legacy is not what you achieve for yourself. It's how many lives you have helped along the way. People are not going to remember you for the car you drive. People are not going to remember you for the house you have. Sure thing, people are not going to remember you for what you have in your bank account. People are going to remember you on how you impact your lives. And being a banker in the financial industry, I always made sure that I was working for someone that allowed me to take care of my clients as a client and not a number.
And there probably is no better at that. I think every one of your clients, every one of your referral sources would say the same exact thing. That not only do you love people, it shows that you love people. And it's an amazing quality that you have.
Yeah, man, it's important, You don't see people, when you go if you go to a funeral, you don't see people talking, man, this guy had passed away. Man, he used to drive a Ferrari. Nobody talks about that. Nobody cares about that. Hey, that guy, he was a great guy. He did this and this for me. He helped me in a moment that nobody else could, and that's your legacy. That's important to me.
Do you have any advice or tips to help other LOs? And one of the things that I'd like for you to hit on this question is either struggling LOs or brand new LOs. What tips or advice would you give them?
Be sincere, be genuine, care, and up the most. If you're doing this for a paycheck, you're doing it for the wrong reasons. Okay? You have to care. You have to have in your heart the ability to care. The ability to care for your client, to not just, okay, you want a mortgage here, I got this for you and that's it. No, shows options, shows the ins and outs of it. At one point in time, and today I refer this a lot. In a certain way, my first two houses that I purchased, I felt betrayed. With the knowledge that I have today, I actually feel betrayed because I was that client that went to a loan officer, smacked the table and said, give me the lowest interest rate you can give me. And most of the time, both cases, I actually got what I was looking for, and I got to walk out of there the happiest man alive during that time. But they never explained to me the ins and outs of a mortgage like I do today. Okay? To my clients, and now that I know what I know we're being cheated.
Well, I won't say that you were cheated. You were given what you asked for. You just weren't educated on what it was that you really wanted.
Exactly. And to me it's important to explain exactly, what was happening. On the first time I heard the word, points, I didn't know what the heck was that, what it was for. Points to me is when you score in a basketball game, you get 2 points or 3 points. It's why am I paying points? Do I need to shoot a ball in a basket? And nobody ever explained to me.
I'm with you. I agree 100%. That's one thing I love about the people that we work with. All of our Hancock guys is getting that information out there and helping and truly explaining what it is. It's one of those old jokes. Everybody out there is looking for the lowest rate, and by the time you find that one guy, he doesn't have the lowest rate anymore. But beyond that, the lowest rate is not
it's not always the best deal for you.
Not always the best, but a good portion of the time, it's not the best.
Everybody's financial picture, financial goals are completely different, and that's what people don't understand. I see clients that saying, well, I'm going to buy this house and I'm going to be on this house for, next 5 years. After 5 years, I'm going to retire. I'm going to move somewhere else. Well, if you're going to live and buy a house for 5 years, the least of your concern should be interest rate.
Amen.
Pure and simple.
So here's a question that I did not want to be in here. I don't like it. I feel it very self-serving. But your peers, Miss Kelly Rice and Patrick Quayle, Kim Ritchie, told me that it had to be in here. So here it is. What do you love about working at Hancock Mortgage Partners? I'm
going to say I've been here now, in the United States for 27 years. So now I can say that I'm more American than anything else. I am a citizen here in the country. I'm a strong believer. I love this country. I love the freedom we have. I love the men and women who pick up the weapon and stand the post to defend the freedom we have. In 27 years of living in this country, I had the most inspiring CEOs, 2 inspired CEOs in 27 years. One of them was one of the community banks here in St. Augustine, and the other one is Mr. Hancock. Both of them with exactly the same personality, and they make us feel a family. There's no preference. There's no redhead stepchild. There's no nothing. We are, we just went to June. We just all met in Vegas for the Mastermind Summit. And we, as a family, as a very good, and I'm going to say it, being an Italian guy, Italian family, we sat on a table, we talked business, we talked family, we feel very close, and we support each other. We are a very strong chain. Actually, I learned in my life, you're on a chain. Okay, if you make a comparison of a chain into a team, your chain is only as strong as your weakest link. And at Hancock Mortgage Partners, we support each other so much that there's no weak link. You know what I'm saying? And that's very important.
That was beautifully stated.
And I speak from the heart. I'm not blowing smoke here.
I know that. What is one obstacle that you had to overcome as an LO? And I know that there's been quite a few, but give me one, maybe two that really stick out.
It's right now, like I mentioned, right now everybody is becoming a loan officer. Okay. Big companies, you see these big companies now getting to the mortgage business, thinking that's all nice and dandy. And so the market right now is very competitive. Okay. But nothing, there's always that story is actually on Facebook all the time to that old man that went to fix the motor on the ship, and there's nothing like experience. Trust me, guys out there, my friends and other LOs out there, you have to start somewhere. Okay, I get it. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. But you got to make sure whenever you start, you have the support and the proper training you need from the institution you're working for. Okay, otherwise you're not going to be successful. Okay, experience stays. So overcoming right now, it's I feel like lately, great objection here. It was a client that, was doing a deal with another lender, a veteran. And he was supposed to be doing with a veteran lender, so-called. And they couldn't close on him. But they had the file for over 30 days, okay? And came close, and this client came to me. The realtor brought it to me and said, Leo, what do you think? Can you do this? I said, sure, let me take a look at it, But at this time, the seller was about to say, you know what? I'm done. I'm not, this is over. And the realtor actually was thinking about, well, we're going to have to find another house. And I was able to call the listing agent and said, since our client was a veteran, and it's very dear to my heart, because when you pick up the weapon and stand the post and lay your life on the line to defend something, you earn your respect, okay? So I called the listing agent and I told him, I says, can you please work with your client, with the seller, to give this guy a chance, okay? And here we have it. We were able to make this happen, turn the seller around, got the young veteran a house. That was phenomenal. I was in cloud nine.
I agree. That's an awesome one. One thing that people may not realize that are watching this, they may not realize that you yourself are a veteran, that you were Special Forces. It was for a different country, one of our allies. I want to make sure I say that. but when you speak so dearly about U.S. veterans, it's part of it's coming from you being one yourself.
You're right. It's it's, and there's a lot of people out there, that for whatever reason they don't have the same passion. My advice is let a first bullet pass by your ear, and then you talk to me.
Good point. So this one's going to be kind of comical. Did you always want to be a mortgage loan officer? If so, why? If no, what were you pursuing before doing this?
Well, it was funny. Actually, how me and Greg Beckman met, I don't know if I ever told you the story.
I know that he picked you up out of jail or something like that.
And Greg, we're always crossing paths on events. And Greg came to me and is like, hey, how about one day we have coffee? And I was like, sure, why not? Tell me the date and time and I'll show up. And I went back to the bank. I was like, man, I got another client. He's going to bank with me now, I was thinking, we met at an event at a client's office where they bank with me. So I figured, she probably talked to Greg about how good I am, and Greg now wants to meet with me, so he can bank with me as well. And end up being completely turned around, and me and Greg connected right from the get-go. We'd had coffee, we connected personality-wise. I call him today my brother from another mother. We were brothers, and it just happened. I went from having my hand in too many cookie jars, as you know, in the banking industry. When you work for a branch, you got to deal not only with consumer lending, commercial lending, DDA, which demand deposit accounts, savings, credit cards. So it was a transition. It wasn't planned, but it happened, and I feel blessed that it happened.
Agree. What is one piece of advice you would give to someone looking to purchase a home? And I want you, because I absolutely adore the way you take care of your people. My biggest takeaway that I want to come from this is for the first-time home buyer, whether it be a veteran, whether it be kids fresh out of school, whatever that is, I want that advice from you. What is it that you would give to those people?
Be aware, for the young generation, being the first-time home buyers, you don't have the life experience to sometimes read people, and you just go by what's presented to you. Get a loan officer that truly care about what you're doing, and that really is going to care for you. That's going to provide you with the service that you have earned and deserved. Because when I say you have earned, this is your sweat money. That's the money you work hard for that you purchase in this home. So you have earned, a great customer service. So don't go by false promises. And unfortunately, there is a lot of people out there making false promises just to get clients on the hook. I hear stories of, people going to closing tables. I haven't heard anyone recently, but I have heard people going to closing tables in tears. That somebody made false promises to them. You get sometimes so hooked up on numbers, and happens recently, okay? Actually happened recently, not that she went in tears to the closing table, but I had a client, August 8th. He worked with this client for a very long time. We were doing an end loan, and she, when it was time to, the house was getting complete, we went, I did a mortgage presentation, and she went and found a lender from online that was offering an eighth of a percent lower rate. I broke down that 1/8 of a percent on a daily basis, and it came down to 67 cents a day. Okay, and I told her, I says, listen, I completely understand they're promising you this. I really, I don't think that's going to be the best for you. I know what I can provide you. I don't want to bash my competition because I don't think it's ethical in the first place. But this is what I can do for you. Well, for that 67 cents a day, she decided to go with the lender she found it online. She was supposed to close August 28th. August 27th, she calls me. Leo, I hope you're not mad at me and this and that, and you're willing to work with me again. And I was like, no, of course I'm not mad at you. I mean, why would I be mad at you? I completely understand. And long story short, the other lender was not capable of doing the loan for her. So for 67 cents a day, $20 a month, she had to go through a stress, period of 2 or 3 weeks to find out that it was not worth the 67 cents a day. So be aware of that. There's no price. I reached a point in my life that there's no price for peace in your life. Purchasing a home, yes, it's the largest purchase you're going to do. We are the highest regulated industry in pretty much in the country. And it does not have to be stressful. There is a price for that. Your peace, there is a price for your peace. And take that in consideration.
That's a great point. I definitely appreciate that. Last question. This is my Bryant Gumbel moment. This is when I try and make you tear up when you don't want to tear up, or bring something out of you that I think that people need to know. So here it is, and it's kind of a multi-part. So you've mentioned this. If I had to go back, I'd say probably at least a dozen times throughout this interview. I know you personally, and I know that it's something that's extremely important to you. And I know that the people around you know this also. Tell me what family means to you.
Everything. Family is the foundation, growing up, Sundays at my grandfather's house, that was Sundays that we had 2 commitments. No matter what Sunday of the month, it was either to be at grandpa's house, on a table for dinner, in church. So family is important. It's everything. That's the foundation. I thank my family for the man I am today. For giving me the experience that they give me, and made who I am today. They're major contributors to who I am today.
One thing I'd like you to expand on is the fact that you've called Greg Peckman your brother from another mother a number of times. You've said the same thing to me, and I know that you act as a mentor and a father to your coworkers. I want you to extend that question into maybe not your blood relatives, but the people who surround you.
Right. Well, let's put it this way, and you got to look at it this way, okay? And I tell my troop here at the office, I spend more time with them than I spend actually with my wife and my kid, okay? Because I'm here, at least 8 hours a day, if I'm not in appointments, So we are a family, and as one part of the answers I gave you before, what I like about being Hancock Mortgage Partners is we are a family, and that's important. You know, family, that word family, you don't have to be blood related from the same mother or same father or a cousin or whatever the case may be. You have to be on a group of individuals that you can consider a family because you support each other. You know, that's what's important. You know, that's why I says family is highly important. And not only the family blood related, but the people you have around you, the people who work with you, you spend a majority of the time with them because, you know, everybody works, everybody knows this. I mean, you have the weekends with your family, your wife and kids, but 5 days a week, 40 hours a week, you at least with a group of people that you have to care about and support. And the same thing that they do it for you. So that's very important.
No question. Like I said at the beginning of this interview, there is no better in the area, Flagler Beach, Palm Coast, Florida. He cares more about his people. He cares more about his customers, referral partners than anybody that I've ever known in that area. There is no better. That's why Leo Goretti is a freaking awesome loan officer. Leo, I thank you very much for today.
Thanks for having me, Johnny.
Yes, sir. Thank you.